Everybody, I'm Richard Leek along with Armstrong, and we're not far from the Motor City of Detroit. Actually, we're in Toledo, Ohio. Behind us, you see the cars. They're going to be crunched because the monsters are on the loose, and they're going to be on the loose and an unusual track. It's U-shaped.
The Motown Monsters have a tremendous challenge this evening, Richard. The U-shaped track is exactly what the name implies. One vehicle will start away from the spectators, the other one close to the spectators. They will make an approach and a turn. The question is, which turn are you going to make, a left turn or a right turn? That's why qualifying is so important this evening. Most drivers want to make that left turn or turn in the direction that they set on the vehicle so they can see. That'll present a unique problem.
So there's going to be a good lane and a bad lane, but one thing we never have is bad competition. The top dogs are all here. USA 1, Bigfoot, and we can't forget Casper.
Casper's up from Mississippi. Dale Harris is due for a win. Everybody's keeping an eye on him. There's a couple other fellows that I'm looking out for tonight, the Bream boys. They come sneaking out of the state of Missouri with two awfully strong Chevrolet trucks. The Mad Dog Chevrolet of John Bream. Bob Bream comes out, experimenting with a new chassis, a stock Chevrolet engine, but located at the back of the driver. We're going to be watching him, Richard.
And we're going to be watching first-round competition in just a moment from Toledo, Ohio. Toledo, Ohio, an absolutely beautiful day for monster trucks. I'm Richard Leek. I'll be topside throughout the competition. Armstrong down on the track. You see the Heartbeat of America Chevrolet flags in the background. Chevrolet, one of the fine sponsors of the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. And in the background, USA 1 is the last to qualify as we are about ready to run down the pairings for the first round. Bigfoot 4 with Rich Hoosier taking on Wild Hare and Bob Bream. Then King Crunch, Scott Stevens against Stomper 2 and Marvin Smith. Then we've got the Carolina Crusher, which is Gary Porter driven against Leadfoot and Ron Dennis. Then we'll have Mad Dog, the other Bream brother, John Bream, going up against John Moore's No Problem. And USA 1 with Rod Litzow will be taking on Dale Harris's Casper machine. And what about Pablo Huffaker?
Earlier this afternoon, Huffaker did take a qualifying shot. Something really tore up on the vehicle. The suspension went away on him. The crowd here was sitting patiently as he came into the staging lanes, Richard, ready for this shot. You know, Huffaker out of the Lone Star State has developed tremendous following for this Ford truck. He took the shot. The front end looked good. He nosed down real tight, went to the second jump. The front end had a tendency to break right there as Huffaker completely tore the front suspension away from the truck, unable to get in the competition. So one of the top national point chasers will be not getting points this evening.
All right, you can see there on a video replay of what happened to Pablo Huffaker. Broken suspension there. You saw that right front tire just angle out. So disappointment for him, but we still have 10 of the best monster trucks in the world getting ready for first round competition. A good crowd on hand is coming to the line. First today will be Rich Hoosier, your national points leader. Rich out of St. Louis, Missouri, and he's taking on one of the Bream brothers. That is Bob Bream from Jefferson City, Missouri, and Wild Hare.
Bob Bream out of Missouri. Now, this is basically a mismatch, Richard. What it is, the Bream brothers have teamed up. Mad Dog John Bream, he's got a good combination. Bob Bream, his brother, comes in with the Wild Hare truck. They're experimenting. This is a research and development vehicle. The research comes on in where you put the engine. The engine in the Chevrolet we're going to be seeing is basically a stock engine located behind the driver. As Hoosier goes into the lanes with the awesome national points leading Bigfoot, his engine's located in the front. So the Ford, I believe, will definitely have an advantage on this shot.
All right, they are off from the line. It's Wild Hare taking on Rich Hoosier and Bigfoot. Army is trackside call-up from your vantage point.
Hoosier, a good shot. Cranks to the inside, goes over the cars. Bream's having some problem. Hoosier's not having any problems at all. Very, very smooth run. This will advance Bigfoot into the next round. Meanwhile, the Wild Hare vehicle, we told you, they're experimenting with it. They're going to figure it out. They'll get the handle on it. They'll be back another day.
All right, so Rich Hoosier, your national points leader, takes the win easily. He moves on into further competition here in Toledo, Ohio, as we get ready for our next round of first-round activity. It'll be Scott Stevens out of the Badlands area of Woodlands, Texas, going up against starving Marvin Smith and Stomper 2. That ought to be a heck of a battle coming to the line.
It's going to be a real good battle. I'm noticing something is taking place. Stevens had a quick qualifying time, quicker than Stomper. He gets lane choice. You notice Stevens goes to the back part of the track, the same lane that Bigfoot came out of a moment ago. We said earlier, we believe it's going to be to their advantage to be making a left turn, and so far that's what it's looking like. Stevens out of Texas goes up with the Coors King Crunch truck, probably one of the most powerful trucks on the circuit, and also, Richard, one of the lightest trucks.
Isn't it an advantage for the drivers to be so far apart and just meet for the first jumps?
The driver said that they're not really aware of it. What they're concentrating on is making a turn. You notice how the Stomper 2 goes around, but already the Coors King Crunch is lined up, goes over for the first jump. The Texan looks like he's going to advance. Meanwhile, Stomper's not giving up. He's trying to come back, but I believe the Lone Star State will go to the next round, Richard.
Well, the Chevrolet Stomper machine doesn't quite have enough today. Scott Stevens and King Crunch, the winner. He will advance in the competition. As a matter of fact, he will face the winner of the Carolina Crusher Leadfoot machine. We're going to go trackside in just a moment with Army as he's got the winner, Scott Stevens.
Scott Stevens all the way up the Lone Star State. Wild qualifying shot in the first round. Had a good quick qualifying time. You drew Stomper in the first round. You're advancing past that on basically a new type track. We're running the U-shaped tracks. How you feeling about the truck this evening?
Oh, well, every week, Army, we've had a progression. Then for a few weeks, we went backwards. And last 2 weeks, we've been going really good ahead. Tonight, we were trying something we never did. We're weighting the truck. We were weighted way wrong. I've got enough motor to switch to the front end, and we're going to take some weight out right now.
You got to take the weight out, or you're going to move the weight in the truck?
Well, we're going to try right now with the very back of the truck with 400 on the torque side. So we're going to start going forward a little bit through each round. And hopefully by the end of the night, we'll have it figured out and we'll be right for tomorrow night.
Well, Scott Stevens up from Texas, he had a new idea. That's to build a lighter truck. It worked. Now he's got to figure out some way to add the weight. Not only ways to add it, but where are you going to put the weight? Thank you, Scott. Good luck.
So Scott Stevens definitely a thinking man's racer as he moves on in competition. And he is going to face next the winner of this matchup. It's going to be either Ron Dennis and Leadfoot or the Carolina Crusher machine of Gary Porter.
I tell you what, Richard, Porter and Dennis are two up-and-comers in the sport. Run out of their own pocketbook. They're what we call independents, but they run awfully strong. One out of Carolina, that'll be the backstretch, a yellow truck. The other one all the way from Arizona. A good start by both vehicles. They run up. And again, it looks like the backstretch turn is the quicker way around the track. However, the Arizona truck looks to be coming back. Carolina Crusher trying to hold him off. What does it look like from your angle, Richard?
It looks like a heck of a race, but it's going to be a win for Carolina Crusher. As a matter of fact, a double win. He not only beats him on the course, but Ron Dennis was disqualified for running off the course. So Gary Porter advances. Leadfoot goes home. Let's go to Army.
Okay, Gary, congratulations on a first round win. We're running on a new type track this evening, the double U's. How are you liking it?
Well, I really don't like it. I'm really not used to this type of track, but I think I'll get the hang of it.
Now, the quick time is going to have lane choice. Do you have a preference when you drive this truck as to whether or not you want to turn to the left or the right?
Yes, I'd rather turn to the left.
The lane choice is important, not only the actual track conditions, but which way you're going to have to work it.
Back with more Monster Toledo action on ESPN in a moment.